Welcome everyone. We are going to be discussing the first reading from this past Sunday's Mass. So let's jump into it. I've been here at Malvern for about 2.5 years, and when I first came here, people would call me up. They'd want to come over and say hello, welcome me to the area. Lots of times they would bring food, and we'd sit down, have a bite to eat, and it was just great. All of a sudden, somebody was dropping off loaves of bread. I didn't know who the person was. They were just coming into my house, putting loaves of bread on the table, and then leaving. Well, that went on for a couple of months. Then somebody started to drop off Irish scones. And as you probably know, my mom and dad are from Ireland. I'm saying, who is this person who just comes into my house, drops off bread and Irish scones, and leaves and never tells me who's doing it? Like, who's dropping off this mysterious food? Well, one day I'm talking to my sister Rosemary. We're talking about recipes for Irish scones. Rosemary turns to me and says, Kathy Meehan has one of the best recipes for Irish scones. And then all of a sudden, I say to myself, it's my cousin. Kathy Meehan is dropping off this mysterious bread and these mysterious scones. In our first reading, there's a mysterious meat and a mysterious bread that the Israelites start to receive from heaven. So let's take a look at the little explanation of the reading. It's always found in the bullets that are found in your daily personal prayer guide if you're using the Connections program on Monday. So here we go. The Israelites have escaped from Egypt and are wandering in the desert for 40 years. They are hungry and they start to grumble against Moses and Aaron. And they wish they were back in Egypt, either dead or slaves, because at least they had enough to eat back in Egypt. Okay, well, God tells Moses that he is going to provide quail for them at night and some type of mysterious bread-like substance for them in the morning. In the gospel, Jesus tells the descendants of the Israelites that it was not Moses who sent that bread from heaven, it was his father. So, it's kind of an interesting analogy. Here we go. A reading from the book of Exodus. The whole Israelite community grumbled against Moses and Aaron. The Israelites said to them, "Would that we had died at the Lord's hand in the land of Egypt, or we sat there by our flesh pots and ate our fill of food. But you led us into the desert to make the whole community die of famine." There's a pause. So that pause is really important. It allows us to kind of shift. You can take a look at it in the Connections program. Then the Lord said to Moses, "I will now rain down bread from heaven for you. Each day the people are to go out and gather their daily portion. Thus will I lead them to see whether they follow my instruction or not. I will test them. I have heard the grumbling of the Israelites. Tell them, in the evening twilight, you shall eat flesh, and in the morning you shall have your fill of bread, so that you may now know that I, the Lord, am your God." Another pause. In the evening, quail came up and covered the camp. In the morning, a dew lay all about the camp. And when the dew evaporated, there on the surface of the desert were fine flakes, like hoarfrost on the ground. On seeing it, the Israelites asked one another, "What is this?" For they did not know what it was. But Moses told them, This is the bread that the Lord has given to you to eat. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So, if you have the Connections workbook, there's always space for you to journal. If not, I would encourage you to read that reading on your own, to reflect on it and allow the reading to kind of percolate throughout your life today, and try to spend some time figuring out how that reading relates to your life. Come back tomorrow. We're going to be taking a look at the Psalm from this past Sunday. God bless.